Hold on tight. Salmon Arm residents are digging deep, launching a massive fundraising drive to save Gleneden Community Hall, a century-old landmark facing critical repairs. Joan Jacobs, the hall president, is leading the charge, battling city budget constraints alongside Mayor Alan Harrison to secure $300,000 for essential upgrades, including a wheelchair-accessible bathroom and a brand-new stage. From bottle drives to benefit concerts featuring Wildwood Productions, the community is rallying to preserve this vital gathering space for generations to come.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to hold it with one hand? The PopSockets Pop Grip gives you a secure grip, works as a phone stand, and even lets you swap the top for a fresh new look. Simple, useful, and perfect for everyday phone use. Click the link in the comments to grab yours on Amazon.
But that's not all. Prepare to be outraged. Ms. Diagnosed is exposing a terrifying trend of medical gaslighting, and the story of one woman's fight for diagnosis is a wake-up call. This patient, after repeatedly contacting her GP for a year, was initially dismissed with a gym injury diagnosis, despite a history of cancer. It wasn't until February 2024 that she received the devastating news of incurable secondary breast cancer, raising the critical question: could earlier detection have changed her outcome? With the introduction of Jess's rule in the UK, we're diving deep into why the medical system is failing women and how we can demand better. And the injury crisis in youth baseball is reaching a breaking point. Dr. Allison Rao of M Health Fairview is sounding the alarm as elbow and shoulder injuries surge among young players. While Minnesota fares better than the national average thanks to multi-sport athletes, the pressure to mimic pro-style pitching is taking a toll. From little leaguer's elbow to Tommy John surgery, we'll explore the preventative measures players and parents need to know, and why a culture of honest pain reporting is crucial. Plus, we'll unpack MLB Pitch Smart guidelines and how they can help protect young arms. Finally, arm stock is soaring, up 84% this year. But a recent 6% dip has investors on edge ahead of their fiscal Q4 earnings release. CEO Renee Haas's expanded role at SoftBank and CFO Jason Child's recent stock sale are adding to the uncertainty. With a valuation model estimating a 26.3% upside, can ARM maintain its AI-driven momentum? Analyst estimates call for revenue near $1.53 billion and EPS of 56 cents to 59 cents. Will they deliver? Don't miss our deep dive into the AI chip rally and the future of this tech giant. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. Residents of Salmon Arm, British Columbia, are rallying to save Gleneden Community Hall, the city's only community gathering space, from significant disrepair. Built originally in 1929 by the local Finnish community and rebuilt after a 1972 fire, the hall has seen limited renovations in the decades since. Now, locals say essential upgrades are needed to ensure its future. Gleneden Hall President Joan Jacobs emphasizes the hall's vital role in fostering community spirit, providing a low-cost venue for everything from art classes to sporting events. However, the city of Salmon Arm, while supportive, currently lacks the budget to cover the estimated $300,000 renovation costs, which include a wheelchair-accessible bathroom, kitchen upgrades, and a stage. The hall is ineligible for regional district funding due to its city ownership. To bridge the financial gap, residents are organizing fundraising efforts, including bottle drives, grant applications, and a 3-day benefit concert from May 1st to 3rd, featuring local band Wildwood Productions. Founder Jake Jacobson believes the renovations will broaden the hall's appeal and provide more opportunities for community engagement, eliminating the need for residents to travel elsewhere for activities. The ambitious goal is to complete the renovations by the hall's centennial anniversary in 2029, preserving a cherished landmark for future generations. A UK woman's story highlights critical delays in cancer diagnosis, sparking renewed focus on medical gaslighting and the need for improved healthcare for women. Charlie, initially diagnosed with primary breast cancer in 2016 and successfully treated, began experiencing debilitating pain in her arm in January 2022. For over a year, She repeatedly contacted her GP, but her concerns were dismissed as a gym injury, with diagnoses of tendinitis and a nerve conduction test offered. Despite a history of cancer, her escalating pain, spreading to her neck and shoulders, was not investigated as a potential recurrence. By January 2024, Charlie received the devastating news of incurable secondary breast cancer, which had spread to her lungs, liver, lymph nodes, and bones. She questions whether earlier detection could have limited the cancer's progression. Charlie's experience underscores a concerning pattern of medical professionals downplaying women's symptoms. She recounts feeling unheard and frustrated by dismissive attitudes from her GPs, one of whom appeared to minimize her concerns, and another who failed to act on her report of tenderness in her lymph nodes. Despite her own research raising alarm bells about potential cancer spread, her concerns were initially dismissed. It wasn't until January 2024, after persistent pain forced another appointment, that lumps were finally discovered in her lymph nodes. The case comes as the UK introduces Jess's rule, mandating GPs to rethink after a third visit, aiming to address the issue of patients being overlooked. Charlie emphasizes the need for greater awareness among GPs regarding the symptoms of secondary cancer, and for proactive information provided to primary breast cancer patients about potential recurrence signs. While advancements in treatment offer a more favorable prognosis than initially feared, Charlie is left grappling with the uncertainty of how a delayed diagnosis may have impacted her long-term outlook and the significant financial strain on her family. She is receiving support from Breast Cancer Now, particularly their Younger Women Together program. A concerning trend is sweeping across youth baseball, a dramatic rise in elbow and shoulder injuries, even requiring Tommy John surgery at increasingly younger ages. Nationally, the percentage of youth players undergoing Tommy John surgery has more than doubled in the last 2 decades, jumping from 10% in the late 90s to 52% in 2021. While Minnesota isn't experiencing the surge at the same rate, experts warn the issue is still present. Dr. Allison Rao of M Health Fairview and the University of Minnesota Medical School attributes the national increase to year-round throwing, a focus on velocity, and pitching while fatigued, essentially asking developing bodies to perform like professionals. However, Minnesota's tradition of multi-sport athletes offers some protection, providing natural rest and varied muscle use. Common injuries include little leaguer's elbow in younger players and ligament tears, including those requiring Tommy John surgery, in high school athletes. Dr. Rao stresses Tommy John surgery isn't a preventative measure and doesn't guarantee increased velocity or future protection. Prevention hinges on pitch limits, adequate rest, full-body strength training, proper mechanics, and a culture of honest pain reporting. MLB's Pitch Smart program offers evidence-based guidelines to help reduce arm injuries, emphasizing that playing through pain is not a sign of strength, but a signal to rest. Addressing this epidemic requires a cultural shift within youth sports, moving away from a badge of honor mentality surrounding pushing through discomfort. Arm Holdings, ARM, has seen a remarkable 84% surge in its stock price year-to-date in 2026, despite a recent 6% dip over the past week ahead of its fiscal Q4 2026 earnings release on May 6. This pullback follows a prior 3-month rally of nearly 97%, prompting some profit-taking. While analysts' consensus price target of $164 sits below the current $211, ARM continues to strengthen its position in the AI sector with the launch of its new AGI CPU and a strategic partnership with IBM, solidifying its role in the global AI infrastructure build-out. Recent internal developments, including CEO Renee Haas, expanded role at SoftBank, and CFO Jason Child's sale of $3.8 million in shares, have introduced some investor uncertainty. The upcoming earnings report will be crucial, potentially resuming the upward momentum or triggering a further decline towards the 50-day moving average near $150. TIKR's valuation model estimates a target price of $267, representing a 26.3% upside, and a 12.9% annualized return over the next 1.9 years, based on a 23.6% revenue CAGR. However, the stock's high valuation, over 109 times forward earnings, makes it vulnerable to significant drops on any earnings miss. Arm's asset-light licensing model supports high gross margins, above 95%, and potential operating margins exceeding 45%, but multiple compression remains a risk if AI investment slows or open-source alternatives gain traction. Analysts anticipate Q4 revenue of $1.53 billion and EPS between 56 cents and 59 cents. A strong beat could push the stock back towards its $238 high, while a miss could accelerate the current pullback. The new AGI CPU, targeting the rapidly growing agentic AI segment, and the IBM collaboration are key growth drivers, expanding Arm's reach into enterprise computing and potentially increasing royalty rates as AI-specific chips command higher prices. TIKR provides free access to financial data and analyst estimates for independent analysis of Arm's valuation.